Hello, how are you? It's Joshua Jones, and this is Josh's book review. So, today I'm gonna be reviewing Brianna Wiest's 101 essay that will change the way you think. 101 essays that will change the way you think. Okay. I've got a bunch of rabbit ears because this book is filled with gems. And so I'm going to go through some of them. I'm going to summarize it. And let's get it popping. This book is sick. Like, extremely sick. It gave me a lot of insight. One of the first things that comes to my mind is the concept of pain. Brianna says we shouldn't ignore pain. To do so is to do so at our own peril. This is something I struggle with. I lift weights, I do yoga, and I dabble in jiu-jitsu. I'm very emotional with all of these activities. A lot of these activities are therapeutic for me. They allow me to process pain, frustration, anxiety, heartbreak, trauma, letdowns, setbacks, etc., etc., etc. That's what I do when I go into the gym. So, oftentimes, I'll push past pain. And even today, I did some bench press, feeling down, a bunch of stuff on my mind, and so I'm thinking, well, actually I'm not thinking, I want to go to the gym, I want to lift heavy, and the bench wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect, and then I'm doing some flies, I have a bit of a shoulder pinch, and just work through that, and then I started to do some push-ups, and the push-ups really aggravated my shoulder, like my traps, and so I still pushed through that, even though it was painful. I got a sick chest pump, but this is something I do routinely, and I don't think it's good, and so this book really made me start to think about that I shouldn't be ignoring pain. I should be respecting pain, heeding the pain, and ultimately honoring my body and respecting the pain signal that it's giving me. And so it kind of made me rethink how I approach things. Yeah, that was the first big thing I got from this book. Super interesting. From there, she's very big into relationships, love, self-worth, self-esteem. And I just read a passage, and this is similar to Mark Manson's Models or No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. And essentially what these books are getting at is that we're looking for outside validation. We don't feel worthy enough. We feel not good. We feel disfigured. We feel ugly. We feel toxic. We feel not good enough. We feel we don't measure up. We feel stupid. We feel imposter syndrome. We feel like we're not getting better. We feel stuck. We feel limited. We feel trapped. We feel unmotivated. We feel shame. And all of this comes from a lack of self-esteem. And so we try to prove ourselves by doing things to get external validation. And this is super relevant when you're going to date, because it's a turnoff to be looking for external validation. You want to be internally validated, ultimately. So this book, that's probably one of the bigger second things I got from this book, which is she says right here, so if you want to get over these external surface level, shallow things. You have to turn your attention to things that matter more. You have to turn your attention to things that matter more. This is the truest solution and most effective antidote and secret of all secrets to renouncing your sense of whether or not you're going to be okay with yourself. Make something matter more than how other people see you. If all you have to care about, if all you think you can offer the world is a nice body or a fancy lifestyle or a lot of money or approval that makes you feel good, you're not doing everything you can and should be. Wow. Like, play that back. You know, better yet, buy the book. That's page 334. It's sick. Like, it's full of these snippets, these mind-blowing snippets. And it really makes you think, right? And so, I don't think it's let me go to my next point. I'm not sure if I'll continue talking about different points about the book. But what I will do is, I'll say this. This is not a book that you should read, that you should rush through. I don't think so anyways. I've had this book for maybe going on a year now. It's recommended by someone in my building, circumstance, synchronicity, call it what you want to call it. But I read the first couple pages and I was like, I have to buy this book, and I did. And I've been making my way through it slowly, page by page, slowly. And so what did that look like? That looked like weekends at cafes. I like to go to cafes, breeze out, have some matcha latte or some nice coffee, and read the book. Or Sunday mornings, Saturday mornings, it's kind of a zen, nothing to do state. I'm reading the book, and I'm just reading a chapter, or half a chapter, or 2 chapters. Depends, right? Nighttime, I might read a little bit. But it's not something you rush through. I feel like you really want to absorb this information. You want to let it seep into you. And I think that's the best way to digest this book. Don't rush through it. It's a collection of 101 essays. She's a great writer. To be honest, I didn't think I would like this book as much as I did. I'm kind of the, I don't know, how do you call it? I'm into the masculine, the manosphere space. So, I'm a believer that men and women are different. And so the things that are applicable to a man may not necessarily be applicable to a woman, and vice versa. And maybe I'm just feminine. Maybe I have a lot of yin energy. Maybe that's why I resonate with this book. But, I mean, for all the men out there, if men are listening to this, I think it's important to put down your ego or soften yourself a little bit and take in some of this stuff. Not at the expense of your manhood, definitely not. And by that I mean not at the expense of you, your responsibilities and staying stoic and being strong. I think all of those things are super important for a man. You have to be a pillar for your community, especially for your family, and for yourself, because life is going to hit, and when it hits, you got to be able to take that hit and hit back, right? Or you got to be able to stand up if you fall down. So that's super important. You got to be a leader, and that's probably applicable to women too. But for men, traditionally speaking, men are the leaders of the household. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent here. What I want to say is that even though it's a book by a woman, I feel men can still get a lot out of it. Women can definitely get a lot out of it. And it's, she writes in a way where, I would think she's some quadruple vaxxed liberal chick. But she's actually pretty badass in some of the stuff she says. So, shout out to Brianna. I don't know much about her. I don't even know what she looks like. I've never watched any of her interviews. I kind of want to keep her mysterious. Maybe after I finish the book. We'll see. Planning to probably check out one of her other books. I think it's called The Mountain Is You, or The Obstacle Is You, something like that. And I highly recommend this book. Well, let's give it a rating. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's that good. It's that life-changing. It's that powerful. Highly recommend it. Done.